There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Just finished eating breakfast. Okay. Let's do this. So,
Yeah.
I am Diego Salvo,
I'm Emily Oxford.
and this is our reflection for our 1301 English fall semester, right?
hmm
Well, we were going to go week by week, displaying how we grew as people, how we grew as students, and what we learned throughout our time during the semester. So we'll go share entire screen. Why not? Oh, I think I need permission to share. Oh, no, never mind. There we go. So this is week one. Week one, our main goal was to try to find like people to talk with, people to make groups with, and these groups would be held for the entire semester. And any projects that we were doing, any peer reviews, any things on the Miro board, we were actually doing within each other. We wouldn't really communicate with the other groups. It was just kind of within our own little group.
Yeah. And like I feel like week one was mostly setting up the groups and like getting used to everything. And yeah, like Diego said, those groups were really important and we held them throughout the entire year. So yeah.
These groups were made of like 4 people, and they were a lot of fun. I like my group, even though one
hmm
person died, sadly. Anyway, week two, what is good writing? This is more of like a introduction to like how we're gonna be writing during this class. What are things that we actually need to be able to start writing during this class? For example, back in high school, I wrote about like analytical essays and trying to find out what the author was trying to say. For this class, it was actually really different. It was more of like what my opinion was on things and how I can convince other people of my opinion.
hmm And also, what was really important about this week, in my opinion, was like the personal aspect, like who we are as individuals and like our struggles, our weaknesses, our strengths. And it also allowed us to be like creative and like kind of take the assignment how we wanted.
And this was also the introduction of our first major project, the multimodal profile, which was actually a lot of fun for me. It was a pretty fun assignment. I didn't think it was too difficult. I didn't think it was super easy, but I thought it was a good level of challenge. This is actually what my final multimodal product ended up looking like. So we have where everything's kind of sectioned off, everything's well kind of indented, everything has their own color, font, everything's the same font, same bold.
Mhm.
Everything is in line, so it hits all the what's it called when it's like
The rubric?
sorry, not the rubric, when it's like the colors, the spacing, the multimodal something,
Design
multimodal communication.
elements?
I think it was. Let me see. It was like multimodal communication thing. Remember those? It was like what you see, the spacing,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
language, yeah, all that stuff. So that was a cool project to actually find out about that stuff because the blue and the white makes a good contrast from the black, uh, blue and white. So it was a lot of fun to make that project.
hmm
Now week three, the multimodality and creative process. This was again just furthering our multimodal project, finding more about the colors and how colors relate with each other, how colors actually portray feelings, how different spacings affect different things within the project, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you can see videos just kind of displaying all that stuff, how people, for example, here, the different types of colors, the different types of representation. For example, on the left on this car right here, it's a lot more colorful, a lot more vibrant. You can see the designs. On the left is a very basic color scheme, but they focus on different things, such as the tires, the type of car, the lights on the top, the exhaust pipe on right here. But you don't see that in this car. It's a very classic build. This one's a more custom build. This one has a classic or a more custom color. This has a classic color. So it's different changes to show different things.
Yeah.
Week 4, feedback and revision. This was for, was it the multimodal project still?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
Let's see. Yeah, so this is just feedback on the multimodal project. I remember he gave us, yep, there you go, peer feedback. Let's actually go to the Miro board and see what everyone did. So this is our Miro board for our peer feedback. This was my initial draft. As you can see, it's gone a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Even here, look, I didn't even finish the sentence here because I was rushed for time. But as you can see, our entire class made a before and after, putting all the projects that we had made. For example, Jose, our sadly departed team member,
Mm.
made a great
R.I.P.
project in the end. Everything's has their own boxes, everything's well formatted. And here's the death. Here is Emily's. These
Uh-huh.
are all our pre-revisions right here. This is his pre and after. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We actually gave each other notes. What we saw was good. What we saw was a little bit concerning. Maybe something that could have been improved. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great week.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and this is also the introduction of. Actually, no, there's another one. Sorry. So yeah, this was just the revising of the multimodal project. And now week 5. Okay, here is the introduction of our theory paper, theory writing of ideas. So this is just the rough draft of what do you want to write about. For example, here I had 3 things that I was like, hey, this would be fun to write about. To what extent does the purpose of text influence the manner of the message received? Or, that was kind of actually really bad. What change can be seen within the structure and language of 2 opposing political views on a subject? Which that was kind of fun. I tried to explore that one, but it was a bit too complicated. It was very political. I was like, oh, I don't want to do that much about politics. Did you like your little theory writing?
Yeah, I liked, like, I didn't realize there was so much to write about within like the topic of reading and writing. Like, I feel like this week helps me realize that like there's topics, right? Like our topic was reading and writing, but then you can get like really specific with it and go into all the different aspects within it. And I thought that was really interesting to see everyone, um, what everyone said.
I agree. I thought it was really cool. Am I still sharing, by the way?
You stop screen sharing.
Oh, okay. Share again. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I thought it was a really cool subject, and this is just the beginning of the theory writing. Again, how to write a theory paper, all of that good stuff. Notes on writing investigations, ideas. I love the amount of videos he gives us.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of them?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't watch too many, but I watched a few.
same.
So yeah, that was our week 5, focusing on creating the actual basis of the theory paper. Week 6, the sources, which that's something I'm still working on actually for my theory paper. Um, yeah, this is more of like how to find sources. For example, here, finding sources, what to write. Wasn't he also talking about like how to question sources, who it's coming from, where it's coming from, why it's coming from this person, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
Like, yeah, he was talking about how like we need to like find reliable sources for our information, and how like if if we're not getting good information, then our paper is going to be kind of weak. Um, so I think this week was mostly about finding like good information that like really tailors to what we were talking about in our paper.
Agreed. So what's this proposal? Oh, this is more of like you have your audio or you have your question, right? And then you just kind of write what you think you're gonna be doing throughout that essay.
Yeah.
Good week. Good week.
Hmm.
Revising everything, trying to find good sources, and then finding good sources. So we learned how to find a good source, and now we're actually finding the source. So, for example, let's see this is. Oh, I want to do that one. Never mind.
Uh, I did that one.
Checklist.
It was mostly just like um you get like you make a claim and then you find in your three different sources where that claim can be justified. So it was just like kind of like making sure all your sources were aligned in like their information and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't do that one. I was absent that day, sadly. Anyway, yeah, I think I like car trouble or something. Here we go. The peer feedback using sources. This one I did do. This is like the first draft of your peer reviews. This is the one where you missed the actual like lesson thing that you're supposed to go to. I thought it was online. So I was like, hey, I was on like 15 minutes before the class started, like the Zoom meeting started. And I was like ready there. I had my food, I had my laptop, I was set, I had my headphones on, camera ready. Horrible. I was so
Yeah.
sad. And then Yai Death was like in person and she was like, yeah, he's really disappointed. I was like, shit. Oh.
I felt so bad.
Yeah, I felt so bad. I was like, dang. Like I would really wanted to do this, but no, I guess not. Anyway, this is our peer feedback. This was when we actually had our full first draft of our theory writing. Yeah,
Hmm.
theory of writing paper. And we submitted to each other. We gave each other feedback, and then he was supposed to give us feedback, but we kind of missed the meeting by accident. Not on purpose, I swear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was really sad because we missed a big chunk of what we could have improved here.
But he did give us like a video.
True. Yeah, he did give us a video on like things to edit as well, which I
Yeah.
was very happy for because I needed it. Needed
Same.
it. So that was week what? 7, 8. Now week 9, rhetoric. Do you know how to define rhetoric, Emily?
Rhetoric, um, language is always situated within a particular context. I honestly I don't know. It is what it is.
Yeah, I just think of it as like you have to convince people. It's an argument. That's what I think
Mm.
of it as. Oh, this is the one where I wasn't here, but he told me not to do it. So, I don't know if he did or not.
No, I didn't either.
Okay, okay. And this was like the response for reading Doe Downs.
Yeah.
This week it was more of just like finding out how to actually continuously stay on topic throughout your essay, I believe. And the Doug Downs. It was just kind of like a how do you say it? Like an article or like a it was like a textbook. It was like 30 something pages. It was kind of long. And it was more like what is rhetoric? What is rhetoric in the real world? What is rhetoric in like everyday situations, social situations? So for my like I guess assignment, like reading response, I had to kind of answer the questions that are there. So it was like, what are, for example, in the real world, the ecology of rhetoric. In school, there's interactions between students, teachers, tutors, and group mates. It goes students to the very bottom. For example, I barely talk to like, I don't know, Catherine, right? And then group mates, I talk to a lot more. Tutors, I have to actually listen to them. And then teachers are, top of the food chain. And then principals and all that, my
Mm.
work ecology, it's more the children that I teach, the assistant coaches, and then the parents, and then the head coaches. Because the head
Yeah.
coaches are kind of the ones that are in charge of the majority of things. Within the gym, there's other members, then there's the janitors, the staff members, and the personal trainers. And that's kind of just like the ecology of different things throughout my life. Ecology of rhetoric, like the little levels of you have to listen to.
The food chain.
Yeah, the food chain. And then the artifact. I actually really like this project. It was very fun for me. How about yourself? Did you like this one?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Like,
Yeah.
struggled a bit, but we got there.
Agreed. I tore like 8 papers trying to make this. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second because I actually have mine right here. So this was my prototype. This is my first draft of my thingy. It's a fortune teller. So you, yeah, here we go. Like this. So we would have it folded, right? Obviously, this is the prototype because you can barely see the words, right? There's barely any color. It's on like a lined paper, so it's really hard to use because it's really thin. But look, this is my little fortune teller. So I'd have like the little words on the side, and then you just, oh, there you go, right? This is my rough draft. And I'd have, for example, persuasive essay, and just have them all right there, depending on what you want.
Good
This was my
deal.
final, where we
Oh,
have,
wow.
yeah, a lot more color, a lot more pizzazz, some actual information. For example, let's give it a try. Ready?
Yeah.
Choose lab report, persuasive essay, research paper, or expository essay.
Research essay.
Research essay. Okay. So R-E, I don't know how to spell research. EARCHPAPER. So out of research paper, is your message unclear? Like here now we have little questions that you can be asking yourself. Where
Okay.
is your message unclear? What structure do I follow? What goes in the intro, or where do I start? Which one do you want to uncover?
Mm, where do I start?
Where do I start? Okay. So we open up the tab, where do I start? And it has a little note on the bottom with the same color that your persuasive essay. So a little kind of multimodal aspect of this is the color scheme. So for example, the green here, you'd see the lining of the green of where you're supposed to land. And then for example, blue here, the lining of the blue where you're supposed to land. So we ended up on where do I start, correct?
Yeah.
So where do I start? In blue, we open it up, continues to be blue. Well, where do I start? A useful tip for a teacher, what she told me, is to start with the procedures and materials and then move on to the intro. This is where you get started, not finish it. So on a research paper, for example, a lab report, I tend to get really stuck on like, oh, like what do I do on the intro? What do I even write, right?
Yeah.
Well, the procedures help me get that done. So I just write all the procedures done because the procedures don't change, right, throughout each lab report.
Yeah.
So I write down what the procedures are, and then I go back to the materials or the lab or the not the lab, the intro, and then explain things you need to know to be able to understand
Mm,
what happens with the procedure, right?
yeah.
So those are little useful tips and trinkets that you can use here. And well, there's one for every single one. So it goes blue and green.
Interesting. I like
Yeah.
it.
And that was my artifact.
Mine was just like a like a paper, not a paper, it was a poster that was just like steps to follow if you have reading anxiety.
Okay. Yeah. No, I thought this was fun. It was really nostalgic. I remember making them in like middle school and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun, a lot of fun. So that was the artifact. Week 11, the theory artifact paper.
Oh wait,
So
you're not.
again, this is the draft. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Share screen. Thank you for letting me know.
Hmm.
So this is just like the drafts, draft remix. Went through a paper, stated what the function was supposed to be, what the purpose of the message was, how did we do this message. Again, a pretty routine week, just trying to find out the basis of the project that we were doing. At this time is when I started creating this prototype. So yeah, that was a fun week. What did you do for this week? Your posting.
Um, I was just like editing it or like coming up with different ways to like say my information in a way that works for a poster. Like, yeah, and like figuring
Okay.
out design elements and stuff.
Which that's what this entire part was for. Is like how did you try to how did you try to input this purpose and to your audience? And this is like the multimodal aspect right here.
Yeah.
How, what form? Um, So now week 11. So now we're on week 12. Theory paper workshop. So isn't this when we went to, yeah, when he gives me edits
Mm-hmm.
on our papers. This is actually really helpful. So now everything has genre. Because over here, my main like issue was like my focus would be veering off between genre and subject and purpose. So he'd point that out. So he'd be like, here it says genre, but here it says subject, here it says purpose, and then compare contrast. So this is something I actually took out of my essay because it just kind of was just thrown in there and it wasn't really contributing to much. And then he said that this right here, like these headings were good, but they didn't kind of lead into what I was talking about. So I need to actually expand on this part of my essay. So a lot of help. Look, here's the video that he sent me on how to actually do everything. So that was very nice. Fucking 75. Sorry, 75. Come on. I did better than 75. It's because I didn't do the sources. Like I had like 1, 2 sources. That's all I needed.
No, no, no.
Took 25 points for the sources. I'm so salty about that. So salty.
Anyways,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
Thomas, if you're hearing this, not for me. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Week 13, revisions. So this is actually like the end of everything when we're actually starting to submit everything. Everything looks good. Everything looks set. For example, my remix artifact. This is pretty much set. I like the way it looks. I like the borders, the colors, the font. I mean, it's just handwriting, but still, it looks better than normal. Um, the theory paper, I still need to do a few tweaks on it. It's just really just adding like the embedded sources, and that's really it. The actual text is there. The literacy profile, that's why I was showing you on Canva here. So everything's looking good. Everything's looking really good. This is actually my final for the thing now. But look. I got sources this time. Aha!
Damn.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What about you? How's your projects looking?
Yeah, they're pretty much good. I just want to go back and fix some things on my theory paper, and all that. But yeah, I feel like this week was mainly like, well, 13 and 14 was just like um figuring out, like listening to the feedback and then actually putting that into work and like fixing everything, making it
Agreed.
look good.
Yeah. And then week 15. Here we are. That's
Yeah.
our current week. We are doing our reflections on how much we've learned throughout the semester, what we've been working on, how we've been working on, how these things have evolved. For example, from this to this, there's a huge gap. This one has a lot more color, a lot more text, a lot more bold, a lot more borders, and
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of shitty. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's our reflection.
Yeah. Should I stop recording now?
I think so.